Hello, I'm Russ, and welcome to my shop, Simply Wooden Creations. I've had this 10-inch compound sliding miter saw for over 10 years, and it came with a stand that's almost 6 foot long. It's really hard, awkward, and heavy to move, and I've always wanted to make it mobile. I think I've figured out a way how, and I made this video to show you what I did. Simply Wooden Creations is sponsored by Devobel Technologies. For web design, development, and hosting, visit devobel.com. FastCap, innovative products for the professional woodworker. FastCap.com. And Olivewood 2000. For beautiful, elegant, Holy Land olive wood, visit Olivewood 2000 on eBay today. The first thing I need to do is determine the angle of the legs of the miter saw stand. Now, how I did this was I simply laid a 2x4 on the floor alongside the leg, and I simply took a pencil and marked up the leg to transfer the angle to the 2x4. Then I needed to measure the distance between the two legs. Now off to the actual miter saw to transfer that angle to the saw. This is very easily done just by laying the 2x4 up on the saw and then bringing the blade around and to the position of the mark, so that I would have the right angle. Now I'm simply just going to cut the scrap piece of 2x4 to the angle and on the saw and check to make sure that the angle is correct. Yep, it looks pretty good to me. Then I'm going to take the 2x4 that I'm actually going to use to span between the legs and go ahead and cut the angle on one end, measure off the distance between the legs, and cut the angle on the other end. I'm going to test fit this, and I also notched out the bottom of the 2x4 where the rubber boots are on the legs so that it will fit nicely. Then next I am going to drill some holes in the legs where the screws will go through to hold the 2x4. I'll use a center punch to make an indentation so the drill bit won't wander. I've cut a piece of 2x4 about 20 inches long to use to attach the hinges. Simply measure about 3 inches from each end for hinge spacing. These are some old hinges that I have acquired off of jobs that I've done over the years. They come in quite handy, so I never throw them away. And I'll just simply attach the hinges to the edge of the 2x4. Now I'm going to just flip the 2x4 over and attach the wheels to the bottom of this 2x4. I'll put them about 1 inch from each end and then center them in the middle of the 2x4. I will now attach the piece with the hinges and the wheels on it to the other piece of 2x4 that will span between the miter stand legs and be screwed in. I will attach the hinges to the very top of this 2x4. over at the miter stand, I will now screw this section onto the miter stand leg. I'm using some 3-inch screws. And now to make the foot pedal, I'm drilling holes into the end of a piece of 1.5 by 2-inch scrap that came out of the scrap bin. I believe it was cut from a piece of 2x4. And I'll also be using a piece of 3/4 inch by 1.5 1x that was also a piece of the scrap bin. The 1.5 by 2-inch piece is about 22 inches, and the 1x is about 25-26 inches long. I'm going to be placing a small hinge between the two pieces, which will allow the 1x to fold over. Right now it's hard to explain. You'll see what I'm talking about when I get it together. And now I'm going to add a place to put my foot. This is a piece of 1x6 out of the scrap bin, probably about 8 inches long. I'll bore a couple of holes in it and place it on the bottom of the piece that is 1.5 by 2 inches. Put it down toward the end. Now I need to attach it to the piece on the miter saw stand. I'm just going to use some 3-inch screws at this moment and screw it to the piece where the wheels are. This foot pedal will actually push the wheels down, which will lift the miter saw stand off the ground. And then I take the piece of 1x and place it underneath the stand, which will hold it in position. To lower the stand, you simply release the 1x, let the lever lift, which will raise the wheels, lowering the stand back to the ground. Now I'll demonstrate how it works. I've added a string to pull the 1x up so I don't have to bend over. But I pull the 1x up and it simply locks underneath the stand. Pull the other one up and lock it on the other side. And now the miter saw stand is mobile. This is something I've wanted to do for a long time. Right after I edited this video, I got to looking at it, and I really don't like the way the wheels lock into position. So this is going to be kind of an evolutionary process, changing as it goes along. So if I make any changes or come up with something a lot different, I'm sure I'll make another video to give you all an update and show you what I did. Thanks for watching, and God bless. Thank you for watching me here on YouTube. You know, I have some other videos here that you just might enjoy. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Google Plus under Simply Wooden Creations. Don't forget, if you haven't already, please subscribe to me here on YouTube. Thanks, and God bless.